How you doing? Today what I want to talk to you about is getting a brand new bow with nothing on it and getting it ready to shoot. Now, ultimately, there's going to be some better ways to do this, some more technical ways, but today we're not going to be snapping chalk lines and throwing down plumb bobs and stuff to get everything precise. We're going to do it by eye, but get it really darn close. This is going to be for the average guy that's getting his bow at home, whether you order it online or get it as a gift or maybe just get it at a pro shop and are too far from it to go back to get everything on it. This is going to get you really close, so when you get everything on it, it's going to be ready to shoot and you're going to be able to fine tune it with very minimal effort. So first of all, we're going to start out with this brand new Hoyt Maxxis. This thing is awesome. We're excited to shoot it. We just got it in. My buddy Brian, this is his brand new bow for this season. So we're going to get it ready for the season. We also got some Apex gear by True Glow. We're going to be putting this stuff on. Awesome equipment, really bright and low light conditions. Limb saver, obviously. There's a few limb saver options already on this bow within the split limbs that really help reduce the noise and vibration of the bow, as well as one of their stabilizers. We're also using Quality Archery Designs. They're Ultra Rest. This thing is not only a drop away rest that's really quiet, but it's really easy to set up. And we're going to show you how to do it real quick. So stay tuned. We're going to have all this stuff ready to go, and you're going to be shooting in no time. Well, what we've done first is we're going to put the rest on. Real simple, real easy. We're going to get this all adjusted. Basically, all it is one screw and a washer, if I can get it. Okay? One washer, one bolt, and you're just going to put it through and attach it to the riser. If you can get it off of our Apple press here. Okay, now I'm going to come around right here on the riser, just above the grip. There's a screw hole. All you have to do is get it, screw it in. Now you're going to need an Allen wrench for this, okay? Now sometimes these go in a little tough. It's ultimately because sometimes there's some of the overspray from your base coat layer, your dipping or whatever. But it'll go in. And what you want to do is you want to look at the lines of the bow and kind of straighten it. You're going to see all this stuff. There's parallel lines on pretty much any bow. And you're going to want to try and get your rest parallel. Okay, you can see how that's hanging pretty straight in relationship to the platform, the area where it's going to drop down in. Okay, so everything is about keeping it centered and keeping it straight. So now that that's on, we're going to set up. I'm going to show you how to set up your length of your draw on this, because this line is going to activate your rest. As you see right here, this actually comes up and then it comes up into a full draw position so it can drop down. Okay? So that is what this string is for. It's not a big deal. Okay? All you have to do is one of these cables goes up, one of these cables comes down. You're going to hook this onto the cable that goes down. So as you draw the bow, it's going to pull it into position. Okay? And then when you shoot, it's going to let go and drop out of the way. Real simple. So we're going to get this set in a couple minutes. We'll show you exactly how to get it all ready. Now, these pieces right here are basically put together. They're a clamp. Okay? These will go together real easy with this nut and bolt, and they will clamp on both the down moving cable as well as the activation cable for the site or for the rest. Okay, so this goes on. We're going to put this on real quick. All you do is you put the bolt through the hole, and you put the nut on the other side. You can see it's actually cut out for the nut to fit in there perfectly. so it's set. Okay, so you don't need a wrench for that. All you need is a screwdriver, and we're going to put this right on the down moving cable. You draw this back so you can tell which one it is. On this bow, it's this back cable right here. We're going to hook it up, and we'll be back to you in a second. Okay, now that we've got this in the down position, and we've got this in a position where it's not going to interfere with the upcoming cable, what you're going to do is you're just going to have this, pull it all the way tight, so this isn't, again, this is not activated. You're going to have it in a position right here, and all you need to do is tighten it up. But you don't want to tighten it completely. Okay? You want to tighten it just enough that it's going to hold on the cable and slip on this. This is going to be enough to pull down and activate it. Okay? But it's not going to be enough to slip on the cable. Reason being, when you draw the bow back, this is going to come down with the cable, and your little cord is going to pull back, pull back, pull back, and when it gets to its full upright position, then it'll stop moving. That's all it takes to get it set. It's really simple, really easy. Let's draw it back. Now, you can see now that that is in the upright position. That is in the ready to shoot, straight up and down. It shouldn't move. No. Ready to go. And down here it slipped. It's in the good, it's all ready to go. So now all you need to do is just tighten it and you're ready to go. You can draw down. Thanks. Okay, as far as adjusting this, we don't need to do any adjustments for right now. Let's get everything else on. It's adjusted as far as drawing it back, so we're good to go. Now, these two holes right above the grip and the rest are for your sight. Now, my recommendation, and again, this is personal preference. Some people don't like a lot of things out in front of their bow or whatever, but I always put it on the furthest hole back, so the sight is furthest out in front of you as it can go. Because the farther out it goes, the more accurate you're going to be. I don't know if you've ever seen them, but some of those, those target shooters, their sights are way out here. It's kind of like the difference between shooting a pistol and a rifle. It's not that one's a whole lot more accurate, it's your sighting plane. Your sighting plane on a pistol is only 4, 6, 8 inches long, while your sighting plane on a rifle is much longer. So it's going to be more accurate. So any opportunity to get a little bit more accuracy, I take it. There's 2 screws. They go into these holes. Okay, now, you can Loctite these if you want. And it's not a bad idea to do so. But for right now, we're just going to put them in and tighten them down. Get everything set and where it needs to be. Now, what I like to do in setting up a bow, first thing, right off the block, I like to give myself the most amount of adjustment as possible. So I try and set your windage and elevation for right now, especially with these micro adjusts, to dead center. So on this apex sight, we need to loosen it up and we need to crank it back and get it to dead center, or at least pretty close to it. And that looks pretty close to center right there. And then we're going to do the same on the side. It needs to go up a little bit. And you can see there's hash marks on the top and bottom. They're pretty close. So we're going to leave it right there for now. We can adjust the entire assembly, okay? left and right to get your windage and so forth set by an Allen screw on the top. So you're not going to have to use these micros until you're actually ready to sight it in. So for right now, everything's at center. We're going to have the most amount of adjustment when we go to sight it in, or at least set it up to the arrow. This thing's ready to go. Let's move on. Stabilizer. If you can't put a stabilizer in, you probably don't deserve to have a bow. Just right here, front and center. Screw it in. Later on, we will be putting a wrist sling on. I like to have a wrist sling primarily because you don't want to grip your bow, okay? You want to let it hang freely, let it react naturally. For right now, we're not going to put a wrist sling on. We're just going to put this on so it equalizes the weight, reduces some of the recoil, the hand shock in the bow, and also what it's going to do is going to counterbalance as well. So that's it. Pretty simple with that. We're pretty much ready to start putting an arrow on this thing, getting a knock point set, and get ready to shoot. Okay, now you got your sight on, you've got your rest all set, it's set for the draw. We're going to put on an arrow. Okay, you're going to use the arrow that you're going to hunt with, or you're going to shoot with, or whatever. You're going to take a nock, and you're going to put it above the arrow nock. Now, you've got your pliers. You don't want to sock it down completely. You want to be able to move it. Okay? And remember with this resting position is not your full shooting position. Very minimal in difference, but I always like to have it. I always like to take my thumb and put it on there to get it set. Okay? So, this is your full upright position, and I am going to eye this up. And again, there's other ways of doing it. There's squares to put on the string and all that kind of stuff. I'm talking just do it at home, real simple, okay? Now, all you do is you eye this up and look at it. As this bow is straight up and down, you want to adjust this. You don't want it too high. This would be a knock low position, or like this, that would be a knock high position. You can see the difference. You can see the slanting of it. So you want to adjust this by eye as close as you possibly can to get this straight on. Once you do, tighten her down. Okay, now that we've got your knock point set, and we're starting to get things ready to shoot, okay? We've got everything ready. What I want to do, this sight has all these four spread across the window. So what I want to do is I'm going to drop all the other pins out of the way. All I want is one pin up in the shooting position and ready to go. All right. So I'm going to take that 20-yard pin, which is going to be my first pin, that green one, and I'm going to have it not quite centered, but again, somewhat in that close to just above center area. Okay? By doing this, this is going to give me that area of adjustment that I want. I'll be able to bring these pins back up for my 30 and 40 yards, and I'm still going to have plenty of adjustment, vertical, horizontal, everything's going to be set. So, we've got this. We've got our 20-yard pin ready to go. We've got it centered. We've got the knock point set. We've got our draw all set. Next thing is to line up everything and get your center shot. And again, there's ways of doing this and measuring it, but I'm going to show you a real easy way to get pretty darn close.